evening and welcome to our school board meeting. Would you all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, and we thank you for joining us tonight. We are the Board of Trustees for the Lake Central School Corporation, where it is our mission to guide our students to be productive members of society and independent learners. At this point in time, we will tell you that there's two possibilities for you to address the board. One is before we vote on action items, so that there's a sign-up sheet back there if you want to address action items before we vote on those. And then the second time is at the very end for public comments. So in both situations, the sign-in sheet is back there inside the front door. Okay? Thank you.
Patty, are they with you? They are in the back, okay.
All right. So moving ahead, really the verification, are there any questions on that? Everybody's fine with that? So, all right, fine. And agenda.
Thank you.
Good evening and welcome to our school board meeting. Would you all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
7A, my
I
agenda,
pledge allegiance.
professional leave request as number 5, and then under Mr. Gandolfi's section, which will be jointly covered by Mr. James and me, we did update the personnel recommendations. Whatever's happened between Thursday afternoon and this afternoon has been added so that you have the most current changes to our personnel.
Okay, are there any questions? Oh, wait, I'm sorry. We need a motion first.
Move to approve.
Second that motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any questions, comments? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, and motion carries. Moving on, item 4, correspondence. Mrs. Lesentine is not available. Number 5, liaison committee updates. Does anyone have anything to report?
No,
Mr.
not at this,
Bexell?
not at this time. My meeting actually is taking place, the park board meeting, redevelopment meeting this week, so.
Okay, very good. And Mrs. Suze and Mr. Marshall?
As far as the Westlake Joint Managing Board meeting, we meet with the school town of Munster, and we've been on hiatus during the summer. Next meeting right now, correct me if I'm wrong, is scheduled the 27th of September here at Lake Central. And that's at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's
Great.
right.
I hit it right?
You got it.
Okay, thank you.
Very good.
No other report on the personnel interview committee on my behalf.
All right, thank you. Legislative committee, we're looking forward to meeting with our legislators in the future. We're still working on that date. The Education Foundation has some new leadership. We're looking forward to a great year there. And Wellness Committee, I think Dr. Bracco has some information to share with us in a bit about wellness. So, moving on, and any public comments, Patty, for the first section? All right. And official school board business, Dr. Bracco.
Thank you again. Seek board approval for the consent agenda, which consists of the minutes from our last meeting on June 19th and approval of the claims, payroll, and extracurricular expenditures you received in your packets last week.
Move to approve.
Second. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any questions, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, and motion carries. And official school board business, Dr. Bracco.
We do have one special recognition tonight, and here from the high school to help us present this student and this award is Kendall Smith, AP chemistry teacher. So if the board would reconvene in front, we'll hear from Kendall.
Okay. May I stand here, Larry?
Sure.
Well, the Harvard Book Award is given out by the alumni of Harvard University to a top performing 11th grader in 1,900 schools across the country.
Cool.
It has been awarded since 1910, so it's a very prestigious award and long-lasting award. The book award here at Lake Central is sponsored by one of our former grads, Mrs. Gwen Hochman Stewart now, and she graduated in 2002 and graduated from Harvard in 2006. Her husband also is a sponsor, and he graduated from Harvard in 2005. The Harvard Book Award is an achievement award from the Harvard Alumni Association, awarded to the outstanding high school student in the next to graduating class, junior year, who displays excellence in scholarship and high character combined with achievements in other fields. The Harvard Book Award winner for Lake Central this year is Mr. Alan Wright. Alan has distinguished himself throughout his career so far. He currently, correct me if I'm wrong, Alan, has a 4.933 out of the 5-point scale. He has straight A's in all his honors and AP classes. In fact, he just swept the table on 4 AP exams, getting a 5 on each.
Wow.
AP Chem. Yeah, including the AP Chem test. Only 9% of the people in the world got a 5 on the AP Chem test, and he's one of them.
Awesome.
And then you also got a 5 on AP Stats, on English, and physics. Oh my gosh, and that's even harder to get a 5 on. So Alan's doing exceptional.
Excellent.
His standardized scores are also noteworthy. He has a 1580 on the SAT, including a perfect on the math section, and a 35 on the ACT with a perfect on the English and science section. And so Alan is clearly one of the best I've ever had. He ranks among Mark Kalinich, Frank Diak, Lauren Tatina. He is without a doubt worthy of this award, and I'm so proud to have him here and have him receive this award. And so, I guess I should talk about his extracurriculars. He also he has played in the band in the past. He's currently still a part of the Science Olympiad, and he is helping to found our science summer camp. He is going to be one of the physics counselors and leading the physics experiments next week, right, Alan?
Awesome.
So,
Very good.
Alan, congratulations. It's my pleasure.
The board would like to congratulate you as well, so thank you.
Congratulations on the award.
Nice job. Really proud of you. Congratulations.
Alan, congratulations. Have you made a future commitment yet? Too early.
Very,
Now, would
very
you like to
nice.
introduce your folks and any friends who may have joined you tonight?
Yeah, my parents are right here. Thank you
And?
for.
Come on, stand up.
You
Thank you.
should point out that Alan's mother teaches English here at Lake Central.
Yes, she does. Yes, she does.
Happy to have her among us.
Absolutely. We certainly do appreciate you sharing your abilities and talents with us. And thank you for supporting him and being here, and for all of his teachers, a big thanks also, because as you know, it takes a team and a unit to make this successful.
Right.
Again, thank you. Appreciate it. Are they leaving now? Did you want to announce that they were leaving?
Folks are welcome to stay if you want to be for the rest of the meeting, or if you need to get on to other things, it's okay to leave.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good seeing you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right, quite impressive, very, very nice. All right, item number 2, the press release for the community forum, Dr. Bradford.
Okay, so as we've talked in the past, the third leg of our strategic plan is to bring in our community members, which you also received from me tonight, what we're planning to do to promote the August 8th meeting. And it's going to be about a 2-hour meeting that will consist of an update on where we are with technology, where we are with facilities, and our short to medium term plans on the 7 buildings that are mature buildings in our corporation. And then most importantly, the third topic is to review finance. And the idea is that these are areas that we've been strong in, but we still have questions about them. So we're going to make a presentation. We expect them to be about 20 minutes, and we'll leave a few minutes for question after each. The finance piece will take a little bit longer, and then we want to do some type of a survey of the folks who attend on August the 8th, because we really want to survey what I'll call an informed audience. So now that we've shared with you where we've come from, we want to hear what the folks who are, what we're going to consider highly motivated and very interested in how we conduct business moving forward, what their opinions are on these very topics. And so we will be doing another survey for those in attendance that evening. We do plan on doing some promotion through a press release that will go to the newspapers tomorrow. We'll also send the same announcement through our chambers, and then through our school messenger via text, email initially, not text, email initially to our families, and then we'll follow up with our families a couple more times as we get closer to August the 8th. And so that's what we're hoping to do, to collect a little more information on these three important topics.
Okay, are there any questions for Dr. Brocco? No?
This is all combined into our overall strategic plan?
Yeah, we're hoping that we will get somewhere between 100 and 200 attendees. It's a busy time of year for everyone. Not that any time of year isn't busy any longer. I mean, people, but I'm hoping that by reaching out, and I should have also mentioned that we're also going to reach out to people who have supported us in the past. We had a rather large steering committee, if you recall, after we were defeated in the first building referendum. And that group of people, as I run into them around the community, you know, they're very happy with what we've done, but yet they're very interested in seeing us continue to improve. So we'll reach out to them via whatever method it is, a phone call or a snail mail letter, and invite them. And we'll try to get as many different people from our community here as possible, so that we can get a vibe for where they stand and what they think we need to focus on, maybe a little more. And some of them may be people who already participated in either our first survey or our focus groups, but some of them won't be. So I think we'll get information that will help us.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have a good turnout.
Right. Is there anything that we need to do to help with this then?
I don't think so. I've reached out to a couple different sources for, items in terms of questions that we're going to ask at the end of the survey, similar to polling questions that a pollster would do. And we're going to, of course, work with Mr. James on the finance piece, because it's important to share with people where we are in relation to other districts like us and other districts, regionally in the county. And then, Mr. Moreno will have a presentation as well, because we have made giant leaps forward in the area of technology without going one-to-one. So we still have questions about that periodically, but we're of the belief that we're better off exposing students to a variety of different technologies versus forcing one particular tool on them. So, we want to address those concerns with people. And then, of course, the facilities piece, we have, really Clark and Protzman and Lake Central High School that are in great shape, but we have some needs at other facilities. And so we've done some really good things this year with school safety, with upgrading phone systems and camera systems, but we still have infrastructure issues at those other 7 buildings, and we want to share sort of priority list with our community. And there's some things that you've already heard as board members, but there's some things maybe the community, if they're not watching these meetings, have heard of. So just hoping to share some information with interested parties. Good. Howard?
Just the general FYI question. In your networking with other school superintendents in the area, is there any other district that's undergoing a strategic plan process now?
I would say that most districts are in some stage of it, even if they aren't, going through the survey process. They're certainly tweaking what they've done based on, for instance, test results, and through other groups that they meet with, they're adjusting their approach to things. So whether you have a formal strategic plan or not, I think people are constantly strategizing to figure out. For instance, Sarah just came back from Denver, and she was out there with the Lilly Counseling Grant piece. And so what are ways that other districts, not just in Indiana or in the region are doing to support students, you know, with social emotional issues, and they're out there hearing about that. So I think you're always, even if you're not formally doing it, I mean, it's sort of what we do. We look for ways to get better and better meet the needs of our students.
Good response.
And we have to do that in today's world, and it's nothing new, is it? I mean, we've always had to do that, really, just plan for the future. One thing that I would ask for the school board members to think about, if you remember in that survey that came in through the strategic plan, there was a section on the school board in there. So we have to decide as school board members if we want to do similarly to what the school corporation is, you know, address those concerns that are stated and write goals and a plan to address those.
Absolutely.
So I'll send an email out to you, but just start thinking about it.
Okay.
Seeing how we want to handle that, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, thank you. All right, item 3, Dr. Rocco.
Okay, thank you. My third item is just to make the announcement that tomorrow we're going to have an open call for tours of the high school facility. And so they'll both be originating down here, door F, which is the entrance to the central office. And I'll be here to greet people, as well our director of facilities is going to help us with the tour, at least the morning tour. And then we're going to have a second one at 6 o'clock for those working folks who can't make it. Just another opportunity for people who've sort of been wondering what exactly we did, a chance to see it. I have run into some former students in the community in the last year who have been here this summer for camps, and we're surprised at how much we've done. So I appreciate Dr. Malco spreading the word a little bit, and hopefully we get some more people to see the good things going on. There are some areas where the waxing's being done. Of course, we're gonna have to stay away from those, but you know, we're able to get on the first floor of the 3-story wing, and they're similar enough that we'll get to show them the science configuration and business lab and so forth. So we're also gonna do one 4:30 before our August 8th meeting, by the way, but we'll promote that more as it gets nearer. So that these two tomorrow will meet at door F.
Are there any questions from anyone? I have Facebooked it, and I know some people have shared it and forwarded it, so if you can also do that, just a reminder to, maybe we can get some people here. Appreciate you taking the time to do that. I hope somebody shows up.
You
For
never
the
know, it's
community.
summer. Yeah, it's summer.
They're very appreciative of the opportunity, I know that. They reached out and said, thank you for doing this, so you're right, it's a very busy time. All right, item 4, the Wellness Committee.
Okay, so we, again, this summer have taken a look at our administrative regulation regarding wellness. This spring, Gladys Rediger and Louise Talent attended a meeting here held by the DOE in Hobart, and they submitted our last year's version of the administrative reg for a critique. And the critique came back with a few little things, but the main thing was that we should set some goals that are specific and that are measurable and so forth. And so we came up with 4 goals. If you turn to page 9 in the draft that I've given you, you'll see those 4 goals. This summer already, we've pretty much hammered out goal number 1. We'll put the finishing touches on that within a week and get that to our principals at our July 28th meeting. And that consists of some what we've called wellness fun facts and commonly consumed beverages and foods. And we're going to read stuff to not just the students, it's going to be over the announcements, so staff will hear it as well. And just things you might be interested in knowing, how maybe healthy something is for you, or on the other hand, how maybe unhealthy something is for you. So that's one of our goals. We also are going to be more intentional about our cafeterias, rotating out the posters and advertisements they have regarding nutritional value of fruits and vegetables and other foods in the cafeterias this year. We also have a couple of goals that maybe we'll get halfway or 2/3 through this year, and that is to collect the data on where we are currently regarding classroom lessons on healthy living. And then the goal is that these best lessons will be spread across our district uniformly, so the good stuff that's happening in one building can happen in all buildings. And then finally, we're going to compile a list of the club and extracurricular activities that involve students being outdoors, and we're going to see out of those activities and some classroom activities, out of those activities, what can we also then make more uniform across the district by making people aware that, hey, here's something that is happening at this school that has become interesting for students and has been a valuable lesson. So our goal on those two activities is to implement the good ideas on a greater scale.
Okay, quite a document here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I did
it's,
some reading.
because I'm on the committee, I've read through it. It's very, very, very good reading. It's
I think,
very,
like goal number 2, like you said about posting that nutritional value of the fruits and vegetables versus the unhealthy one, that's gonna really, enhance our students' ability to understand, you're eating a candy bar versus eating a piece of fruit. What are you getting? What kind of sugars are you getting? How many carbohydrates, calories, and things versus that healthy snack. So I really like that.
Well, we'll be, I guess dripping on not just students, but on faculty as well, so they can, have this in front of them. And we've talked at our committees a lot, the impactful commercials that we see on TV of some of the people who've spent a lifetime smoking, using tobacco products. That stuff sort of jolts you into reality, and while this won't be nearly on that scale, it's the same concept. If you hit people with something on a regular basis, some people will react to it and respond and change their behavior. So that's what we're looking to do.
Yeah, good.
but I can remember years ago when they had the fruit giveaways in the cafeteria. The kids were so excited if they were the recipient of a bag of fruit. It was so precious. And I think Gladys said they were going to continue doing that, right? Yeah. Yeah, okay. So it's a real positive that way also. All right, any other questions? All right, moving on to Mr. Gandolfi.
I got one more item.
Oh, I'm
We're on the
sorry.
amended agenda. And so my 5th item is to seek board approval to head down to Indianapolis on Wednesday for the State Board of Education meeting, followed by the work session. My main objective for going is to be at the work session where they're going to start looking at how they're going to implement ESSA, Every Student Succeeds Act. And I was reached out to by Jeff Butts, the superintendent of Wayne Township, who wanted representation from all corners of the state. And he admitted that he's not even sure where we'll get to the microphone, but he does want us present. So I figured if I was going down for the work session, I might as well go an hour and a half early and sit in on the meeting. I haven't been to one, so I'm seeking board permission to go to that. How much I get to say or do, I don't know, but I certainly report back on what I hear.
Move to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any questions? Appreciate you doing that. I'm looking forward to hearing about the ESSA also. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, and motion carries. All right, now, Mr. Gandolfi.
So I will be covering L section.
Okay.
So first, let's seek your approval on the personnel report that was originally included in your agenda and the revision at your station set.
Move to approve.
Second?
Right, we have a motion and a second. Any questions? Comments? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, and motion carries.
Thank you.
Sure.
Our second item is to seek your approval on the classified raises that were in your board packet on Thursday, as presented.
Move to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? Comments? Appreciated the detail in it, and I appreciated your patience with me. You're right.
No problem.
And that additional attachment you sent out was very helpful. So it appears that you've done a good job with making sure everybody's somewhat equitable, and that's good. That's very good. Appreciate it. Thank you. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, and motion carries.
Thank you.
Sure.
Our next item is to seek your approval next year for food service. If you recall, in our June 5th meeting, the school board approved HPS as our third-party administrator for doing our bids for our milk, our groceries, and our bread. So they go out and they do the bidding. They take care of all the requirements there. But then it's still our responsibility, your responsibility as a school board, to approve those individual companies to be the suppliers of each of those respective areas. So the first one is to seek your approval to contract with Pleasant View Dairy for our milk for this upcoming school year.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions, discussion?
Do you usually go out and get 3 bids, or do they go out and get 3 bids?
They go out and do all the advertisements for the bids, and then they get those, results back.
Okay.
They do it on a more of a grander scale involving multiple school districts.
Okay.
And so that way, pricing can come in, at different, yeah, as you'll see, there's not a specific price here, because prices fluctuate just like gasoline or anything else. So it's a contract with them, and then, they set parameters for the pricing. That's how all 3 of these work.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, and the motion carries.
Thank you. On the same line, we seek your approval to approve Gordon Food Service for our groceries this year.
Also so moved.
Second.
Any questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, and motion carries.
Thank you. And our last one is to seek your approval to approve Alpha Baking Company for our bread supply this year.
So moved again.
Second.
Any questions? Alpha Baking Company.
Alpha Baking Company.
Never heard of it.
And Rob, where are they from, do you know?
No.
I've never heard of them either. I saw it, Alpha Bakery.
Yeah, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign? All right, motion carries.
You know, nowadays, companies get bought by other companies, so it could just be a company that we've,
A subsidiary
of
of.
someone else, you know,
Yeah.
I'm not sure. That would be a.
And it refreshed my memory, but according to the federal law, all lunches have to be increased at 10 cents this year, is that correct?
The federal law requires us to increase our prices each year,
Yeah.
but it's a long formula to determine what your school district may have to increase that amount by. So just because ours is 5 or 10 cents doesn't necessarily mean our Dayton school district might be
I
the same.
see.
Maybe they're at 20 cents. It all has to do with maintaining a lower cash balance and to cover your revenue, so you don't keep your revenues too low and then just keep getting subsidized by the federal government at a higher level. So they want you to keep pace at your revenue as compared to what they're funding at. So that's why the local amount has to increase over each year as well.
Accountability.
Yep.
Understand. All right, thank you.
And
All
that's
right.
all Al has.
All right, thank you. And moving on, Director of Primary Ed.
Thank you. I just have one item, and that is to seek your approval of the professional leave requests that were in your board packet.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All right, we have a motion to approve and a second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, and motion carries.
Thank you.
And Director of Secondary Ed.
Thank you. For my first item, I am seeking your approval on the professional leave request as presented.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, and motion carries.
And for my second item, I am seeking your approval on the field trip request as presented.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, and motion carries. So how was your trip to Denver? Did you learn a lot?
It was fantastic, very informative, and the rest of the counselors are there for another, all today and then half of tomorrow, so it should be
Oh,
outstanding.
very good. So do you feel good about where you are in the process after talking with others and?
We do. Some of the sessions were reassuring that some of the needs assessment work we did through the Lilly grant was right on target and we're moving in the right direction. The grant, of course, expedites things because we would have the funds to do it more quickly. But even if we don't get the grant, I think we've got a good idea of what goals we have moving forward.
Okay.
When do we expect to hear on from the Lilly Foundation?
They told us end of September, which isn't ideal for schools starting in August, but it is what it is, and hopefully receive it.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thanks again for all your work on that, by the way.
Thank you. All right, and Director of Special Ed.
My first item is to seek your approval for the professional leave requests included in your packet.
Move to approve?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? Boy, I had one and I don't have my computer, so,
Do you want me to refresh your memory on what they are?
yes, tell me what the
Okay.
name of this conference is.
Well, there's, Kim Beach is going to the school safety conference. Myself and Marianne Medved, who's our assistant tech coordinator,
Yes.
are going to CAST
is a national organization that promotes the use of universal design for learning, which is
Oh,
really
that's right. Yeah.
making learning accessible to all students, whether they have special needs or not. And Bartholomew County schools located in southern Indiana are a national leader in universal design for learning. So this is a unique opportunity for us to go and learn about UDL, but also go into the Bartholomew County schools and see it in action in their classrooms. So it's a 2-day conference in Columbus. So Mary Ann and I are both gonna go, and I've shared the information with Teresa and Sarah also for the tech trainers as well.
And when is this conference?
It's not until September.
Yeah, that'll be very nice, Columbus. That's great. Good for you. All right, do we have any, did we vote?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, and motion carries. Thank you.
Okay. My second item is also an action item, which is not listed on the agenda. But our special education basketball team here at Lake Central High School has received a donation of $400 from a Lake Central High School student, Jackson Long, who is here tonight.
Oh, nice.
So I'm going to ask Jackson to come up to the podium and talk about what he did to raise this money and what prompted him to select our basketball team to make the donation to.
Well, good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me. Well, this all started with my Push for the Region movement, which I started to bring attention to the athletes in the region, as most of the areas that are thought of as having the better athletes are the South Bend and the Indianapolis area. And I just wanted to start this to bring attention that we have some people who can play up here too. And it started as just a Twitter campaign, and it really carried on for a couple months. And after a few weeks into it, I decided that we would sell these Push for the Region wristbands that over 200 people bought. And I decided I've been volunteering with the Westlake program for a lot this year, and I also have a stepbrother who's in the Westlake program at Munster. And I decided why not give it back to the kids who've affected me so much in my life and are now my friends.
That's great.
So, yeah.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Would you like to introduce who's here with you tonight?
Oh, this is my mom who's here.
So we are, Jackson specifically asked that this be used for our basketball program. And in talking with Coach Karen Brand, who coaches, what we'd really like to do with the money is buy our students some real uniforms. Right now our players wear t-shirts, and some of the other schools that we play against have more traditional basketball uniforms. And so we'd like to use that money to help buy our students some uniforms, and they get very excited when they look like the other basketball players too. So that's our plan for the money, and we're very grateful to Jackson for sharing these proceeds with us, and proud of him as a Lake Central High School student.
Absolutely.
Thank
So,
you very
so
much.
Jackson, tell us more about your campaign. Because can we still buy bracelets?
Yes, you still can buy bracelets. My mom actually has a few in her purse right
Oh,
now.
all right.
She
How much are
she
they?
came prepared.
And how much is each bracelet?
$2 a bracelet.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And tell us the theme behind this.
Well, our whole spiel is basically to bring more attention to student athletes in the region, and to bring college attention and media attention to our athletes.
Okay, and your logo is?
It's just #push for the region.
Push for the region?
If you're on Twitter and search
If
that
you're on Twitter
hashtag,
and you
you'll
search
find
it, you'll
quite a
find
lot.
hundreds of results.
All
Oh,
right,
that's
very
great.
good, that's very good. Well, I think that we will want some bracelets up here, definitely. And if you don't have them with you, maybe you could give those to Dr. Bracco, and he would make sure we get them distributed.
Absolutely.
And thanks so much for your gesture.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
It's awesome.
Thank you for the donation.
Very, very nice. Thank you,
Thanks,
Jackson.
So we do need, Mr. James didn't include this donation because it was under my agenda, so we do need to approve it.
All right, so do we have a motion? Motion?
We'll do that when he does the other one.
Second.
Let's just do it all at once. Do it all at once.
I can add it to mine.
Okay, all right.
Why not?
So you'll make sure we do that, right? All right, very good. All right, thank you. That was a very nice celebration, and thank you, Jackson, and to your mother. Appreciate you being here tonight. And Mr. Ledger,
He
is
doesn't
there
have any
anything?
agenda items tonight.
Okay, and Director of Business Services, Mr. James.
Thank you, Dr. Malko. The first item is to seek your approval on a transfer of our textbook rental fees. We do this every 6 months. As you know, when a parent pays for their student's textbook bill, it's divided into 2 areas. There's the course fees and there's the general miscellaneous fees for the district. Those general fees are paid out of our general fund. However, the revenue when it comes in is deposited into our textbook rental fund. So every 6 months we run some reports to determine how much money was collected, but we need to make sure we follow the money in the expenditure. So from January 1st through June 30th, there was $51,889.34 of fees that were collected. And so I'm requesting to transfer that $51,889.34 from the textbook rental fund to the general fund.
All right, you heard the recommendation. Is there?
I'd like to make a motion to transfer textbook rental fees.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Same sign. The motion carries. Dr. Bracco's doing some transaction here.
Transaction for bracelets.
Yes. I don't even have my purse with me. Awesome. Thank you. Have a good summer. Thank you. All right, we just approved the transfer of the funds.
Was there a vote on that?
Yeah.
Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
Okay. So my next item is to seek your approval on the 2017-2018 course fees for the high school, middle school, and elementary school that were included in your packet.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions?
Hey, Rob, how much is the fees going up comparable to last year?
It's pretty steady across all the grade levels. When the books are, the main portion of an individual class's fee is the textbook.
Is the textbook.
And so when you buy it the 1 year, and then it's spread over, 5 years, we divide it by 5 and charge 20 cents. So that stays pretty consistent. If the teacher has any other miscellaneous changes to some workbook or project they may do in a class, there might be a small change. But generally, the fees are relatively consistent.
Consistent, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? All right, and all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, and motion carries.
Thank you. And my last item is to seek your approval now on 2 donations. The first one is to be given is that the Kaler Middle School recently collected $80.49 as part of their Relay for Life, and they would like to donate that $80.49 to the American Cancer Society. And on the receive side, as we heard, we'd like to accept the donation of $400 from one Mr. Jackson Long.
Move to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, and moving forward, public comments. Are there any public comments? All right, very good. Board comments and consideration of future agenda items. And Mr. Baxo?
No comments at this time.
All right, Mrs. Suze?
No comments.
Mr. Marshall?
I'm not going to argue with that.
Well, of course, I do. Wednesday, I believe, the 12th, is a fundraiser for one of our soccer students, I believe.
Yes.
So getting that message out there, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, very good. And that's at the soccer field right out
At the
here?
soccer field, also at the football stadium, we have 5 teams participating. I believe it's us, Munster, Highland.
Andrean, Crown Point.
Yeah.
Marty, what time does it start? Do you know what time?
5 o'clock.
5
I
o'clock.
think it's
Okay.
5.
5 o'clock?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And do you know who's responsible for putting that all together, Marty?
I believe it's Jeremy Rainwater. He's very close with Jack.
Oh, all right, very good. Very good, very good. Well, we will all try to be there to show our support for that, definitely. And I did notice that there was a nice picture of Mr. Begley and Mr. Smith and the State Department of Education Secretary, or Secretary of Education for Indiana, I should say, on our website. And that was for scoring so well on AP points, is that right? So I should have said something to Mr. Smith when he was here, but if you would pass that message along, that we thank them for that great honor they achieved for Lake Central. And that would be a nice thing to cover in the newspaper, by the way, Bill. Just an idea. All right, what about you, Dr. Bracco? Do you have any comments?
No, just that, it's been a good summer so far, so hopefully we can keep getting stuff done.
And, okay, the 12th, what else is going on the rest of the?
Well, we don't meet again until August the 7th.
August
So
7th.
we have a little break here, and, you know, we've seen a lot of personnel changes. Compliments to the principals who are rapidly filling those spots, and congratulations to especially those staff members who we've hired who filled in for us on maternity leaves and other long-term leaves and sort of paid their dues. And I see some of those names popping up on the permanent hire list, so I'm happy for them. And I'm glad that, you know, while we're sorry to see our deans move on, we're happy that they, you know, learned skills and developed skill sets that made them the top candidate when they went out for other positions. So we have some new faces there. And, it'll be our principal's job to retrain a lot of those folks and indoctrinate them and get them going on their administrative careers. So we've got some board roasts coming up, so I'll send that invitation out if any of the board members want to help with those. I think Cindy already will be, but you know, give you that opportunity, and we're happy to be seen in the community and to help with those events. So we'll see everybody back here, though, not until August 7th.
And then the first teacher day is August 11th, is that correct?
That's teachers only.
And student day is?
14.
Monday the 14th.
Okay. So with the new hirees that we have, is there going to be an opportunity for us to meet them and welcome them?
We have new teacher induction, but we did not have the board members on that agenda.
We do have the breakfast in the morning,
yeah.
Dr. Bracco,
The
and
breakfast.
since we moved the building administrators to the luncheon the following day, that might be a good opportunity if they're available on the morning of August 7th.
When is it again?
Monday, August 7th, in the morning, we have a breakfast to welcome them, and Dr. Bracco usually kind of introduces the directors. So if you're available, I'll shoot out an email with the schedule with the exact
And we'll
time.
include you on that.
I
That
think
would
it's
be-
8 to 8:30 is usually the breakfast bell.
That would be nice. Very good, appreciate you doing that. All right, anything else? All right, we're going to adjourn this meeting and wish everyone a happy.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
We will make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Dr. Bach, Mr. Bax, so motion accepted and meeting adjourned.